Vanessa, I'm actually intrigued with this, that you've identified that professional service companies like solicitors and accountants aren't actually charging as much as they should do, and in fact aren't charging what they're worth. Now, this sounds incredible to me from anyone that's received a bill from a professional service company, with the greatest respect to them. Tell me how this is.
Well, I agree with you because I think I was shocked when I first discovered it. But actually, my original discovery was with a firm of accountants, one particular director of a firm of accountants, who wasn't charging for everything he was doing with his clients. Now, his clients were paying fixed fees for compliance work, but then they were ringing him up and saying, could you just do so-and-so for me? For example, cast his eye over a cash flow forecast or fill in a mortgage application form. And he was saying yes before he had a chance to think. Or if he did think, he'd say, well, I'm not really doing any work, because in his mind, work was creating numbers. So he'd find himself doing it for nothing. And of course, every time he was working for nothing, that was costing the business. And he didn't think about what that would mean to the client. So even if it only took him half an hour or an hour to do the work, that could have helped save them make a problem that would cost them thousands of pounds.
So let me interrupt you just a moment. You're saying it's not just this one accountant, it's probably every accountant that's not accounting for this time. Isn't that just good service, though, that he was doing this stuff extra for his clients?
Actually, there's a point where good service becomes not good for the business. So if you keep doing things for nothing, the time is being taken up. You can't bill for it. It gets to a point where you're working ridiculous hours and you can't actually bill for them all. It's called heading for a heart attack. And you're not actually doing your clients any favour in the end, because if you're doing too much for nothing, then you can become resentful, and that will then impact on the quality of the work you do. So we all give a little bit away in service industries, don't we? But I think it's about having boundaries and not just giving endlessly away.
So you've magically created a formula, I've seen. Tell me a little bit about what that formula stands for and those bits, so that we can identify if we're giving away something.
Yeah. So the formula is understanding the value, your own value as the provider, being able to communicate that value to your clients, i.e. your own value, but also understanding the value from their perspective, and comfortable asking for payment, or comfortable saying what your fees are. Because if you don't do those three things, it's really difficult to charge what you're worth.
And then, is there something psychological about this, that people really think that they're not worth this amount of money?
Yes, it's very psychological. I think the sort of people I work with are really good at what they do. Make no mistake about that. They're not idiots. They're not people who are inexperienced either. They're also people who are very caring, so they care a lot about their clients. And the thing is, that's fantastic that they care about their clients. But when they care too much, it means they're not caring enough about the business. So there's an imbalance, if you like. So it's about bringing them back into balance. So they're caring about their clients and caring about the business as well. So that's equal, because that way that works for everybody.
So there's a consequence to not charging what you're worth.
Absolutely. Because if you're doing what he was doing, working for nothing, ostensibly, it means you've only got a finite number of hours in any day or any week. There comes a point where you can't do any more work, but you've still got expenses to pay, haven't you, if you're running a business, if you're running a practice. So if you're not meeting those costs and making a decent profit, then it starts impacting on, can you have all the staff that you've got? Do you have to start making redundancies? And, you could do the maths in your own head. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
What are the things that people can do to identify these areas then where they're not charging? How do they recognise it, apart from the bottom line at the end of the month?
They will know, if they hear this stuff, they will know themselves that they're doing one of three things. They're either undercharging in the first place, or they might be discounting their prices. And that's quite commonplace in professional services organisations, to discount. And also, they're not charging for everything they're doing. So they might be being paid for a certain amount of work, and then the client asks for extra things to be done, and they do them, as mentioned in the previous story. They do them without charging for those. So they'll recognise it, and most of us actually may not be consciously thinking about it, but when it's pointed out or when they hear something, because people say to me all the time, oh yes, I recognise that in me. And I think the thing is, it's about being a human being, because all of us hopefully are human beings. And if we enjoy what we do and we like looking after our clients, there'll always be the danger in a service industry of us giving too much away for nothing.
You've written a small booklet on this, which is very convenient. And tell me a little bit about that and what's in it. Is that a way in which people can sort of help themselves a little bit?
Absolutely. So True Worth, How to Charge What You're Worth and Get It, is all about this formula, the UV plus CV plus CA equals CW. And it touches on the various areas. It touches on the various areas and gives you some tips and techniques that you can use to help yourself be able to charge more what you're worth.
It's great for you to come in. Thank you very much and explain it to me. I know it's a problem that many businesses would recognise. Vanessa, thank you.
Thank you very much.